You are listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which invites you along on a journey to learn of mindful living, grow in mental health, and inspire through personal growth. In a world where we can often feel much stress and overwhelm, this podcast provides bite-sized tips and real talk conversations, empowering you to embrace mindfulness and nurture your full potential. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, licensed therapist, retired educator, entrepreneur, and mom of two. I'm passionate about helping busy moms reduce the overwhelm and to live life intentionally without losing their, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 206 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So my friends, I am still riding the high of being new into season 6 and just am so excited for all of the episodes that are to come. And I'm excited for this one, the first solo episode of the season. And what I wanted to do is share with you how life with a newborn has been going. But life with a newborn now is really much different than life with a newborn was 10 years ago, because now I also have another child and I am 40 plus and I own two businesses, and there's just a lot more going on than when I was in my 30s. But it is so good in so many ways, despite a lot of stressors that come along with that. So now that baby girl is finally here, I will share with you that mom tired, there's no kind of tired like mom tired. It makes me think of in my early 20s when I was too tired to go to class, right? Or even when I used to go out mid 20s and then go back and teach the next day. Yeah, I was tired, but this kind of tired is different, especially again, being a little bit older. And, it's absolutely beautiful when she's in my arms. But in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., when we can't figure out why she's crying, and again, trying to run businesses the next day, it does get a little bit challenging. And then my son, who I adore, loves to tell me every single fact he knows about the planets and about every single building, and about all types of things that I don't have the same passion for. In the summer, I found myself getting a little bit snippy with him and really just feeling a different kind of level of stress. And I share that all with you because, very interestingly, at the end of August, the US Surgeon General shared a parent advisory and stated that we need a fundamental shift in how we prioritize and value parents' well being, because now more than ever before, parents' stress level are at an all-time high. And I thought it was just me with a newborn, but it is all the way around. And it is for a variety of reasons because, yes, parents always had to deal with raising children and making sure that they had the values that they wanted them to have, and financial concerns, time demands, health and safety, and sometimes the teenage years, which can be quite of an adventure, and parent loneliness and isolation. But now in our day and age, there are so many new stressors that are really intensifying all of the stressors that parents experience. And these stressors include navigating technology and social media, the youth mental health crisis that the Surgeon General also stated that we have, the loneliness epidemic that he also stated we have, and the hyper intense culture of comparison that we live in. And that is really seen in social media, but it can even be seen in your neighborhood, going to a back to school night or going to, a baseball or basketball game or whatever it is that your kids are into. Sometimes it feels like keeping up with the Joneses of who's doing what and whose kids are involved with this and whose kids are, on the honor roll. And there's just so many things that we're always trying to get. And it's wonderful to have these high expectations, but then we find ourselves in a comparison trap. And then what I ask you is, if that's happening in your life, are you really living your life for you because you want these things? And of course, you'd be proud if your kids are doing, all of the things that they wish to do. But is it because you want to be proud of them, or is it because you want a social media post to put out there, not just to share your pride, but to kind of share, yes, my family can do it too? And that leaves us in really sticky waters for many reasons. One, what is it that we're teaching our kids? Because, of course, they're growing up with social media too. But also, how far can we run on this hamster wheel? And when is enough enough? And at first, it seems harmless and it seems like it's not a big deal. But again, according to what the Surgeon General was saying, 41% of parents say that most days they're so stressed that they can not function. And this is playing majorly into the way that we're living, which, my friends, is indeed our mental health, right? The way that we show up in life not only is our physical health, but it also is our mental, social, and emotional health. And that's a dangerous place to be because, again, it's not just for us, but then what we're modeling for our kids and what they're picking up from us, not just the energy, but the habits. And then how are they going to function in society as emotionally healthy adults? And when the end of August, when this came out, I remember having my baby girl in my hands, and then it hit me. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what I've been talking about and what I've been so passionate about since 2019 when I established Amiga Moms. I'll share with you, I remember it was actually November 2018. I used to be an in home clinician and I used to work with at risk youth and their families and would go in and provide therapeutic services in the home. And there was one particular home, there were Spanish speaking, and the mom just didn't have another outlet that could understand her and then that had the background to help her with everything she was going through. And even though I wasn't there to provide services for the mom, I was really there to provide therapy for the son. The mom just really seemed to be having a bad day and she just fell apart and cried. And everything was almost like a roller coaster of emotions coming out of everything she was going through. And it was in that moment I thought, if nobody's helping these moms, the 1 hour a week that I'm spending with her son isn't going to change anything. It's going to make a small impact on her son, but really somebody has to be out here doing the work for these parents, doing the work for these moms that traditionally speaking are the ones who take on most of the household responsibilities and the load, the mental load that mothering comes with. So it was in that moment that the idea of creating Amiga Moms came to me. And I'm so proud to share with you that since then, it happened just a couple months ago, and I've never really quite announced it. So this is breaking news. Amiga Moms is trademarked, which I'm so very, very proud of because I'm so passionate of the work that the platform does. And I'm so proud to share that we always had the mission of serving moms through social and educational events, but now we're really taking it a step further because we've always experienced the stress. This is really nothing new. But now that we have an official label to it, that the Surgeon General is saying that now there's an advisory because parents are under such pressure, we need to make sure that we are serving parents and moms in the best way that we can and really stretch that to impact many more moms that we have impacted before. So I'm really excited to share that we will be having upcoming webinars and courses in order to help more parents and moms across the United States and beyond really learn strategies on how to stay calm, confident, cool, and collected when parenting, and how to, again, as always, be the best version of themselves first so that then they can be the best parent version of themselves for their kids. But before all that, we are first starting off, and I want to offer an invitation for all of you to join a Cultivate Calm challenge because we talk about the stress, and the Surgeon General had so many recommendations and even policy changes that he's recommending so that parents' mental health can be more of a priority. But the fact is that that can take a really long time. So it is our responsibility to learn the skills that we can so that we can make those changes a little bit more quickly in order to have a more positive impact on our lives and on our kids' lives. And in turn, I then make it my responsibility to take all of these things in my mind from all the education, training, and years of experience and share that with you so that hopefully it can help you as well. So I'm offering an invitation for all of you to join me on a 10-day Cultivate Calm challenge. I'm going to drop the link in the show notes so that you can go and sign up. And as soon as you sign up, whenever it is that you're listening to this, you'll immediately begin to get videos only 10 days on how to take 2 minutes of your day. We can all do this. 2 minutes of your day. Listen to the video. You'll be taught a skill. You'll be walked through the skill. And then the hope is that you practice it throughout the day on your own. My friends, when we talk about mindful living and all these skills and strategies that can help our kids and help us, they are simple things, but these simple things must be practiced consistently. If they don't, and we only try it one time or don't try it at all, then obviously we don't see the positive benefits and impact that it can have. However, if you really dedicate yourself 2 minutes a day to just listen to these short videos and then practice these skills, I know that you will see an immediate difference within your life. And those little differences then add up to these big differences. So, for this short episode today, I hope that you can appreciate my journey and the stressors that I've been through recently. I know that every one of us has their own personal journey and their own personal stressors. And I hope that you take me up on the invitation to sign up for this 10-day challenge, which is absolutely free, by the way, and really make a positive impact in your life to then in turn help your kids' life. You deserve to live a life that you enjoy. So be sure to check out the show notes and get started with the 10-day challenge. And thereafter, I will then be sharing through email and social media. I'll then be sharing on my upcoming webinars and how you can gain further skills on how to lower your parents' stress so that you're not living a life of stress, overwhelm, pressure, comparison, and always trying to keep up, but instead that you're living a life of joy, of fulfillment, and living a life with intentionality so that you're enjoying each and every day. I now invite you to join me on this short guided meditation. So, regardless of where you are or what you're doing, I'd like for you to think of what are the things that truly stand in the way of you doing better. And sometimes what stands in our way of doing better is knowing how to do better. We live in a day and age that we have the world's, all of the information in our fingertips, literally at our disposal. But my friends, sometimes we have so much on our plates, on our minds, on our to-do lists, that it is quite a challenge to take a moment to look something up, see if it comes from a trusted source, and then practice it. But if you would like to overcome these stressful feelings, again, I invite you to join in on the 10-day challenge and look out for the upcoming webinars and events hosted by me, owner of Free to Be Mindful and Amiga Moms. As always, friends, thank you for allowing me to share space with you. And remember that in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. It would mean a ton if you took this moment to review the Free to Be Mindful podcast on the platform you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act lets me know what you enjoy, and it helps others find the podcast too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. In the meantime, I welcome you to catch me on social media at Counselor V. De Jesus. And as always, remember, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.